StrayAllDay.com.
Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is hard over easy. This is your competitive advantage. And I'll explain what that means, of course, momentarily. Before we get started, let me remind you all of two things. First of all, my daily motivation, Monday motivation text message is guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point. Once we start sending that again, you'll be getting it straight to your phone every time we send it. You'll actually be able to choose how often you want to hear from us. All you got to do is text me at my number 305-384-6894. Numbers down below in the description. And when we reactivate those messages, you'll be getting those straight to your phone. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. You want to get access to all of our courses on mindset, strategy, systems, accountability. You want to have access to me directly as your coach on your mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability for your personal and professional development. Then the place to go is Work on Your Game University. That link is down below in the description. You can read about what our program is, what we're doing, who we're helping, and how to get yourself started. Again, workonyourgameuniversity.com. That out the way, let's get into the topic here today, which is hard over easy as your competitive advantage. Now, while I want to be clear, there are strategic advantages to looking for the easy way to get certain things done in life. I've even talked about these in other entries of my master classes. That does not mean everything in life is going to occur the easy way, and it doesn't mean that you should only be looking for the easy way to do things, because there are times that you need to do hard work. Because if everything that came with success was all about doing things the easy way, then a lot more people would be successful, and they would be a lot more successful, and a lot of people would become successful a lot more easily and faster if all it took was doing easy stuff. So there is still some hard stuff that you need to get to, and I don't want any of you to be deluded into thinking that just because someone like me may talk about, hey, here's an easy way to do it and a hard way to do it, or there's easier ways and you don't want to just grind away and not know where you're going. I talk about those things, but at the same time, you must weigh those against where does it make sense to do the hard things and where does it make sense to look for the easy things. The good thing is I'm going to tell you exactly what the difference is between those today. So it doesn't mean everything's always going to be easy. All right, now everybody clear on that. Now, there are many aspects of life in which the hard way is the competitive advantage. Many aspects of life in which doing things the hard way, whereas everybody else is looking for the easy way, doing the hard thing is the competitive advantage. Why? Because fewer people are willing to do things the hard way. And the fewer people are willing to do something that is hard, and the more hard things you're willing and able to do, the more mentally tough and more strong you become, which makes you better capable of handling anything and everything else that comes in life. And you're also going to have just less competition because a lot of people don't want to do stuff that's hard. So you want to find something that's hard that is actually beneficial when it's done, and those are the things that you want to be doing. And today what I'm going to talk about are the strategic advantages you gain by being willing and able to do things that are clearly hard. Again, hard simply meaning something that's not easy. That's what hard means. So it requires great effort or endurance. That's the definition of hard, requiring great effort or endurance, difficult, not easy. Point number one, topic again today is hard over easy. This is a competitive advantage. Number one, most people want everything to be easy. Most people only do and only look for things that appear to be easy. And most people just focus on easy stuff. They just want to do all the things that are easy. The challenge with this is, as the old saying goes, success is easy on the front end, and they say failure is easy on the front end and hard on the back end, but success is hard on the front end and easy on the back end. So we already know the opportunity in life is in the opposites. So since I just told you, and as long as you believe me, that most people are looking for and they want everything to be easy, where's the opportunity? Opportunity is in looking for things that are hard. Again, it's not going to be some rush to the front door of something that's difficult. All right, ain't going to be a whole lot of people there. I go to the gym first thing in the morning. Whatever time the gym opens, I get to the gym. Guess what? Ain't too many people in there. All right, so I don't have to worry about having space or being able to get on the machine. I don't even use machines, but you get the point of what I'm making. It's not like I can't find space on the workout floor because there ain't that many people there. It's the same people all the time, and there ain't that many of us. Why? Because it's hard to wake up early in the morning and work out. All right, people don't have a problem waking up early in the morning. A lot of you wake up early in the morning and go to work. But a lot of people can't wake up early in the morning and go to the gym, quote unquote, can't. I talk to people who tell me these kind of things all the time. The point is, the opportunities in the opposites, folks. The opportunities in doing the things that most people don't want to do. So since most people are always looking for the easiest route to everything, and most people will only do things when there's an easy route presented to them, they don't even go look for it. They just need somebody to tell them, hey, here's the easy way to do it. Most people only do things when they're shown an easy way to do it, or what appears to be an easy way. It is a competitive advantage and an easy opportunity for you to be willing to do stuff that is clearly, obviously hard. When I say clearly and obviously hard, I mean everyone can look at it and they can see, and they may even be told, this is not easy. This is going to be hard. Are you in or are you out? And any of you, by the way, who's in any form of sales, persuasion, influence, if you want to make sure that you're filtering the wrong people out and the right people into any opportunity that you're offering, tell them the hard stuff up front. Tell them the hard stuff up front, and the only people who are going to show up and still raise their hands are the people who understand the hard part and they want to show up anyway. Now, if you don't tell them the hard part, you only tell them how easy it is, well, you get a whole bunch of people showing up, but you also may get a good amount of disappointed people because they're going to realize that it's not as easy as you made it sound when you were talking about it. And salespeople do this all the time. I will use it sometimes depending on what I'm selling. Now, if I don't want to take too much time having to filter through people, I'll just tell you the hard part up front. That eliminates most people pretty quickly. So keep in mind that hard, folks, is a relative term. What is hard for one person may not be hard for another. But if you are aware and paying attention, it will be easy for you to look around in your environment and see what things seem to be hard for most people around you and what things most people seem to think are easy. Now, why do you care what most people are seeing as hard or easy? And here's why. The things that are hard, you want to identify the ones, again, behind which there is an opportunity. So condition yourself to be willing, and condition yourself rather, to be willing to do those things. In other words, getting up early to get your workout in so you don't have to worry about doing it at night, and making sure that you're in good shape. That's hard for most people to do. But is there an opportunity there? Of course there is, because you get to be in good shape, and we know health is wealth. You can't buy health with the wealth that you made from getting up early to go to work. All right, so that's why it's worth it. Is that an opportunity for you? Possibly, depending on your situation. So some things are hard, caveat. Some things are hard because they simply shouldn't be done. All right, some things you just shouldn't do because it just doesn't make sense to do it that way. Like it makes more sense to get in your car and drive the vehicle than it does to get behind the car and push it from where you are to the grocery store. It'll be harder to push the car than it would be to drive the car. And most people don't just push their cars around unless there's a serious reason to do so. So I'm not telling you to do something that's hard just because it's hard. You have to look into it and figure out, is there an opportunity here? And it's a very difficult question for most people to ask because most people don't notice the opportunity that exists behind something that is difficult. This is the reason why you want to have someone like me in your life and in your world who you can come to and say, hey, this is what I'm looking at. It looks like it may be some difficulties and some friction involved in me doing this. Is it worth it to do it? And if so, why? So you want to be able to ask someone like me that question so I can help you understand whether it is worth it or whether it's not worth it. Most people are not good at self-assessing that, especially when you would basically be signing yourself up for difficulty and pain. Most people don't do that too happily and voluntarily. So some things are hard because people don't want to do them. Some things are hard because you shouldn't do them. Some things are hard because people just don't want to do them. Those are the things you should look for. The things that people don't want to do, you should look for those because there's an opportunity there. It's just people are too lazy to take advantage of it. So there's a virtue in that. So as I mentioned, wake up every day, go to the gym before going to work. It's hard for most people, but there's value in doing it. And this is where there's an opportunity. It's hard to, let's say, walk 5 miles to work instead of driving your car or taking public transportation. You probably don't need to walk 5 miles just for the sake of walking 5 miles, unless that's part of your thing, something like that. So again, hard is a competitive advantage, but it doesn't mean everything. Doesn't mean taking advantage of or partake in everything. You got to think about whether the advantage on the other side of the hard effort is worth it or not. And this requires judgment and insight. The easy way to figure this out, again, look around what most people know that they need to do or should do, but they're not doing it because they have some kind of fear, anxiety, anticipation that comes with it. You already have a list of those for yourself. So those are the hard things that I'm referring to. Point number 2. Topic once again today is hard over easy as your competitive advantage. Number 2, remember there's never a traffic jam going towards things that are difficult. You're never going to see a big crowd of people bursting through the doors of a gym at 5 o'clock in the morning the way that they burst through the doors of a a Best Buy or a Walmart or a Target back in the days, pre-Amazon days of Black Friday, for example. People would get trampled and literally killed trying to fight through the front doors of a Best Buy or a Walmart back in the day for Black Friday sales so they could buy a new TV. You've never heard anybody getting trampled in a stampede at a gym. At least not a working out gym. There may be a stampede at a gym where they were going to watch other people play, but you never heard of a stampede at a gym. You never heard the fire marshal having to clear out the gym because there were too many people working out, or it doesn't happen because it's difficult to work out. And that's why there's never a crowd there. So you won't have too much competition when you decide to do these things for the reasons that I stated in the first point. As the saying goes, there's never any traffic on the extra mile, right? I wake up early and go to the gym before work. I've been doing that for the last 20 years. And there's always, every gym I've ever been to, because I'm consistent showing up, I see the same faces all the time in each gym that I go to, the same people all the time, if anybody. And if anything changes, it's fewer people showing up, never more people. The crowd never gets bigger, it only gets smaller. Why is this? Because as we already talked about, waking up early, go to work out before you go to work is hard. All right, some of you listening to this have been telling yourself for months, I need to wake up early and work out, and you ain't doing it. Why? Because it's hard. Always has been, always will be. Now look at your internal or external list of things that you know you need to do but have been resistant to doing. You have a list. Good news for you is that there are a bunch of other people with the same things on their list that you have on your list, and they got the same reasons for not doing it that you have for not doing it. So don't feel like you're isolated, because you're not isolated. Actually, there's a whole bunch of people who are in the same boat as you, a very big boat, like a yacht, like a cruise ship size boat. All right. Now, doing these things, if you actually can get over yourself and get the discipline up, and I'll help you with this, again, come to work on your game university. If you can get over your inertia and resistance and get to doing these things, understand there'll never be a crowd when you're doing it. There's always a crowd of people not doing stuff. There's not always a big crowd of people who are doing things, especially things that are difficult. There's never a crowd of people doing things that are difficult, because most people allow the resistance, the anticipation of pain, to stop them from ever beginning something that looks like it might be difficult, let alone are they ever able to make it into a habit. So again, there will be no competition in that. The question is, what are you going to do? So the question, what I just told you is 100% true. The question is, what are you going to do you can find out and prove it to yourself? I already know it's true, but you can go find out and prove it to yourself that it's true by actually, I don't know what you're actually going to do, but you know your options. Let's move on to point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is hard things over easy things. This is your competitive advantage. Number 3, taking on more responsibility is difficult. Responsibility, your ability to respond, that's difficult to take on more of it. However much you have right now, if you take on more, that's disturbing your equilibrium because it's more than what you're used to. That's difficult. No matter what it is. You have 1 unit of responsibility now, you take on 3 more, and now you got 4. That's difficult for you. Now, someone else who has 30 units of responsibility, they take on 2. Now they got 32. That's difficult for them. So it's all relative. Responsibility comes in a package deal along with power. More power you want in life, the more responsibility you must take on. More responsibility you take on, the more power you get automatically. You don't have to go looking for power when you take on responsibility. It comes with it. But understand that if you want power, you have to take the responsibility. So since everybody wants power, again, even if you just want power over yourself in your own situation, all you got to do is look for ways to be more responsible for more stuff. That's it. You want more power, go for ways to be more responsible. Understand that this responsibility does not necessarily need to involve other people besides yourself. You just take on more responsibility for yourself. I'm going to take the responsibility of waking up 45 minutes early so I can work out in my garage before I go to work. That's a responsibility. Does it give you more power? Yes, it does. Why? Because it builds discipline. Discipline builds confidence. It'll help your health. You'll probably live longer and feel better and look better. All right, is that power? I think so. Simply make yourself more responsible for things that you want to achieve, complete, and have ownership of in your own life, and you will have more power over yourself and your own outcomes, which naturally means you have more power involving others and their outcomes. When you have more power over yourself and your outcomes, it gives you more power over others and their outcomes. Why? Because most people don't have any influence or power even over themselves, let alone over anybody else. So if you can learn to take control of yourself and full responsibility for yourself, you will separate yourself so far above most other people that they will give you the power to help them because they see that you have power over you. How many of you are really disciplined and really consistent at something that a lot of other people find challenging? Don't you notice that when other people notice how disciplined and consistent you are at that thing, that they come to you looking for advice and help and insight on that thing? Of course they do. Why? And when people come to you asking for advice, help, and insight, what are they giving? They're giving you power to help them solve their problem. So the more discipline and self-control you have over yourself, the more power you will get by connection over other people, simply because you're going to be doing things that most other people don't want to do. And when they see that you're doing it, they want to find out. And when they want to find out, you now have power. Just was the fact that they're interested. They want to know how you did it because they're not doing it. That gives you power. And that power is worth any other resource that you want. So when you make yourself more responsible, all of this stuff comes with it. Anything you want to achieve, complete, or have ownership of in your life, give yourself more power over you and your outcomes. It naturally leads to you having more power involving others. So does that sound like that could be stressful and anxiety inducing and hard? Well, it does, because it is. If you want to have power and influence over you, and thusly more power and influence over others, that can be stressful, anxiety inducing, hard, demanding, exacting, all of those things. Because it is that. I'm not tricking you there. That's what it is. Question is, are you willing to step into it? That's the only question. So see, this is what I mean when I tell people the hard part up front, and let's see who's still standing. All right, anybody who's still listening now, all right, if you're in, what you need to do is go to Work on Your Game University. But let me recap my points first. Topic once again today is hard over easy, your competitive advantage. Again, many people go looking for the hacks and the tips and the shortcuts to do things the easy way. And there is a time and place to look for those things. I'm not against that. I will look for the easy way to do certain things as well. But at the same time, there are some things that can only be done the hard way, at least done successfully the hard way. You can't shy away from this if you want power and influence over yourself and others. Number one, most people want everything to be easy, which means the opportunities and the opposites. Look for things that are hard. You will not face a crowd. You won't have to elbow your way through the audience in order to get there. There's not going to be a lot of competition. You'll have plenty of space. Number two, there's never a traffic jam going towards things that are hard. You will not have much competition when you decide to do hard things, as I already told you in the first point. You're never going to get stampeded and ran over top of trying to bust through the doors of a fitness facility to go work out first thing in the morning. All right, there will never be that many people there, or you will never have that problem. Number three, taking on more responsibility is hard. Responsibility comes in a package deal along with power, and the more power you want, the more responsibility you must take on. And understand that responsibility does not necessarily involve other humans, but when you take more responsibility for yourself, you give yourself more power over you, which in turn leads to having more power with and over others, simply because you have taken control of yourself. And most people don't have control over themselves. Most people don't take responsibility. Most people don't have ownership. Most people are not disciplined. So when you have those things, other people want your help because they ain't got it. All right, so they want to get it from you. And that's the way it works. All that said, text me, see you in my community. My number's down below in the description. Also, workonyourgameuniversity.com. You want to work with me directly, the way I just described these things here today sounds like the recipe for what you're looking for. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, get access to all of our trainings, our courses, our coaching calls, and have me as your direct coach. That's the only way it happens. Workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all